Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello again, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Ihsan Tanama Sitio from the English Postgraduate students of the University of Sumatera Utara, and today I'm going to introduce and explain to all of you about a type of stylistics, cognitive stylistics, and how to do the analysis about cognitive analysis in literary work. Well, let's get started. So, cognitive stylistics, or cognitive poetics as it is commonly called, has been widely researched and introduced by some linguists such as Peter Stockwell, first in 2002, and then Mike Simpson, then also Gavins, and many more. So, ladies and gentlemen, cognitive stylistics is a sub-discipline in the field of applied linguistics, which provides the understanding and interpretation between the mind, human mind, language, and the world in literary text. Okay, it deals with cognitive processes which occur during the act of reading and influence text interpretation. So what makes cognitive stylistics somewhat different from other kind of stylistic is that there is a kind of relationship, okay, in the literary works to some cognitive processes or cognitive linguistics elements of it. Every discipline or sub-discipline of a field of study has their own purpose and objectives. Same as cognitive stylistic. What is actually the objective of cognitive stylistics? Well, according to Simpson 2004, cognitive stylistic is intended to supplement the existing methods of analysis and aims to shift the focus away from model of text and composition towards the model that make explicit the links between human mind and the process of reading. So by doing cognitive stylistics, it takes readers to arrive at a new conception of the world through reading and understanding the linguistic elements within the literary text. Okay? Because the style is actually within the human's mind, say, put into literary works. Ladies and gentlemen, there are several key areas in doing cognitive stylistics. They are namely, first, figure and ground. It is the application of the impact of foregrounding on readers. The second is conceptual metaphor. It is the textual realization of a rhetorical trope and aspect of human conceptualization. The third is resonance and ambience. It is a way to understand how grammatical forms encompass the creative imagination that is required from the readers. The fourth is dictic projection. It is the establishment of the imagined scene and a way to keep path of all people in a text. And the last is text world. It is how knowledge of characters, places and events accumulated during our reading of specific texts. So, ladies and gentlemen, after knowing the key areas in cognitive stylistic, I want to invite you to analyze a literary work through cognitive stylistic theory. Well, in this case, I happen to finish one analysis. Well, let me share it to all of you so that you can understand how to do the cognitive stylistic analysis. Okay, let's begin. Ladies and gentlemen, the title of the analysis which I've done recently is Cognitive Stylistics Analysis on Maya Angelou's Still I Rise. So the study attempts to figure out and examine the cognitive linguistic elements within a poem written by one of the famous American poets, Maya Angelou. So, I started the introduction as I departed from the poem. Okay, poem is a beautiful freedom of expressions, actually. Okay? It lets feelings flow with words. okay, and that silence the heart. But it can sometimes difficult to understand and require a lot of effort on the part of reader. So cognitive stylistics, as one of the type of stylistics, is the appropriate type, okay, to analyze and focus on the text as the location for meaning and aesthetic form, with the observing reader being regarded merely as the place where the effects of meaning, emotion, or evaluation happened. Okay, so that's how the introduction goes. Okay, so basically we are going to find out and analyze the elements or key areas mentioned above in this poem. And in the literature review, it is certainly can be noticed that the theories we used is only two. The first is cognitive linguistics, and then the text word theory. Also, Gavins said that cognitive linguistics is based in social cognition, embodiment, and the idea that literature is rhetorical figures are based on in the process or not the recognition. And text world theory, okay, which firstly introduced by Wirth in 1999 and then developed by Gavin in 2007, also by Giovanelli in 2016, also is in the cognitive stylistics, because text world theory is a part of cognitive discourse grammar. So the methodology obviously is the descriptive qualitative design, because we describe later about the elements, linguistic elements related to cognition in this poem. So qualitative design looks into the depth of understanding rather than numeric analysis of data. So also this analysis adopts the combined theory, the combination from Stockwell 2002 and Gavin's 2007, in order to figure out and analyze the cognitive elements of the poem. And so below are the data which we are going to be analyzed then. So ladies and gentlemen, as you can see on the slide next to me, this is the poem. It is the data which we are going to be analyzed. It is a kind of poem, consists of 9 stanzas and 43 lines, adopted from the complete collected poems of Maya Angelou 1994. So ladies and gentlemen, let's see the findings or the results of our analysis. So the figure of speech found within the poem, there are simile, personification, and metaphor. The first is simile. There are several similes found in the poem. I will put only 2 for sample. The first is like dust I'll rise, found in stanza 1, line 4. So this expression means that Maya Angelou, as the author, wished to state firmly, even like dust, she could still stand on her feet. And the meaning, she rises up high. And then the second, another simile, is just like moons and like suns, in stanza 3, line 9. It refers to the comparison of her hopes to the moon and sun, which are situated out the grasp of ordinary human beings. So that is the sample of simile, the analysis of the simile of the poem. So the second figure of speech found in the poem is personification. I personally found only one personification in the poem, which is huts of history's shame, in stanza 8, line 29, which by uttering this expression, Maya Angelou means that he personified history by attributing a human quality shame to it. History is personified in order to stress the magnanimity of the impact of slavery which she experienced. Okay, history, like a live being, carries the burden of the years of slavery at the time. So the third figure of speech found in the poem is conceptual metaphor or frame. There are several metaphors actually found in the poem, but I will put two as a sample as well, like the simile. So the first is, I'm a black ocean, leaping and wide, found in stanza 8, line 33. So by this expression, Mela Angelou is actually wished to convey that she was a woman of danger. And by the word black ocean represents that she was a black woman. Okay, this is an expression of oppression, anger, and annoyance to one she hated most. And another metaphor is bringing gifts that my ancestors gave in stanza 9, line 39. It means that implicitly that she always hold on to her own ancestors' legacy. Okay, this is a kind of dead metaphor for the ancestor. Well, because ancestor that have been definitely dead people gave her gift. How come? So it is a kind of dead metaphor. Another element of cognitive stylistic found on the poem is dictic projection. So, dictic expressions found within the poem, only you, me, I, my, and it. Well, as you can see that it is only the person dixis, because the dictic expression is divided into three: spatial, person, and temporal. Okay, so the word you refer to the one that Maya hated most, and then the me referred to herself, and then I also referred to herself in subject form, and then the my referred to herself in possessive case, and then it referred to unliving things on the poem. The another element of cognitive stylistic, and which happened to be the last element, is text world. It is a theory which broadly developed by Gavin's 2007. It consists of cognition. That's why it includes into cognitive stylistic. So it is presented on a form of a figure. As you can see on the slide, the figure. It is divided into three squares. The largest one is called the discourse world. It is consists of the author, speaker, which is the Maya herself, and then the second square is the middle square, the text world or the world building element, okay, which included the first is text, time, okay, and then location, then objects and an actors. The time based on the poem is past, and the location in an area of a town, the objects, an oppressed woman, which is Maya herself, and then the enactors, the authors, the oppressor to him. And then the third square, or the smallest one, is subworld. So, ladies and gentlemen, we reached finally into our conclusion. So, as a result of decoding language through various stylistic levels, we are able to deduce that at the nucleus of Still I Rise by Maya Angelou is the idea of female uprising against male subjugation, especially females belonging to the black race in America. So the poem takes the readers through a series of statements that the author made about herself. She praised her strength, her body, and her ability to rise up and away from her personal and historical past. There is nothing, the author declared, that can hold her back. She was going to rise above, beyond anything that seeks control of it. So the elements of cognitive stylistic found, as you can see before, is the the figure of speech, and then the dictic projection, and the text word theory, as I presented to all of you. So, ladies and gentlemen, for further reading, I attached some of the references or books that you can read in order to broaden and widen your knowledge on cognitive stylistic in doing your own cognitive stylistics. So the first is Gavin, about a text word theory, 2007. Then Lakoff, 1987, Cognitive Models and Prototype Theory. Leach, Style in Fiction. And then Simpson, Stylistics, as well as Stockwell, 2002, Cognitive Poetics and Introduction. So ladies and gentlemen, it seems to be the end of our discussion about cognitive stylistics for today. I hope all of the explanations are useful for you to do your own cognitive stylistics. If there is any mistake, I do apologize to all of you. Thank you very much for your very kind attention. See you again in the next meeting. See you, and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.